some political theorists and economists and historians, based on my other conversations, I can tell are purely interested in untangling history. And while I know that you're obviously very interested in the history, am I right that you're also quite interested in using your work to better understand, predict, and prepare for the future?
Well, Marx is famous for something called the Theses on Feuerbach, who was a philosopher that Marx grew up with and was critical of. And probably the most famous of his theses on Feuerbach, the short couple of pages, is the one that runs like this: philosophers have interpreted the world. The point is to change it. And that would be, I would say, how I come at all of this. To untangle your question a little bit, beyond not understanding what the word predict really means, I certainly make no claim whatsoever to have that capacity, and I find the claims of others in that direction to be humorous, whether they intend it or not. I can't predict the future, nor can you, nor can anybody else. I'm interested in understanding the history because everything that's happening now is a product of that which happened before. It's a complicated product. These things are very multiple in their determinations. But when you try to unravel why things happen, you do understand them better. It gives you a more satisfying story about what is happening in the world you inhabit. And if you're of a certain mind, I am, that's very important, very satisfying to understand what's happening. I understand there are other folks who don't want to, consciously or unconsciously, who are frightened about what they may learn, who are worried about where it might point. But for me, as for many, understanding the world you live in is a more satisfying way of living in it than not. And so I spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, understanding how we got to where we are as a way to understand what's unfolding. Again, not to have some prediction about the future. There are always large parts of the explanation of anything that we can't manage. It's too complicated. Human beings can't do that. Never have, and don't do it now either. It's what a whole list of thinkers meant by the term overdetermination. In other words, things that happen, anything, are shaped by so many other things going on that the so many is handled by the mathematical symbol infinity. And you're not going to grasp infinity. That's the whole point of the symbol of infinity. It's the other side of what you can do. The best example I know of is a painter that I love, a Belgian painter named René Magritte.
One of my favorites.
Yeah. And if you'll notice, almost every painting he did is mysterious. He wanted people to understand that everything in the world includes and is wrapped in mystery, whether it's a bowler hat or a cane or an upside-down umbrella or light and dark reversed in a picture. The world is full of these mysteries, and you don't overcome them. the arrogance of the human experience to imagine we're going to control nature, or we're going to dominate, or we're going to understand. It is a grabbing after religion. God made everything, so he understands, or she, or it. And the human being, once they eject God, want that for themselves. It's not available. God was invented because it's the other side of the boundary of what we can do. Can do everything. It's Hegel's notion. Everything is with its opposite because it's bounded from that which it is not. That's how you define what something is. So it's other, what it is not, is part of its own definition. And if you understand it, then you know that we always create these opposites. It's part of how we grapple with the irreducible mystery. That's what Magritte does. He wants us to see it.